I don't even want to say suck because that's not a good enough word. It will be shitty. You will hate your life. You will hate everything. It's kind of crazy, but I realized something. In hindsight, it actually makes complete logical sense, but it still sounds crazy to me. So what I realized is that when it comes to weight loss, when the suffering that you endure being overweight becomes greater than the suffering of that you will endure actually losing weight, that's when you'll begin the process. That's when you will start and you will change. And losing weight is suffering. I know it sounds silly, or I don't know. I think it sounds equally silly and logical at the same time, because losing weight sucks. That's just the truth of the matter, as far as I'm concerned. Losing weight sucks. It's a horrible thing. And you know what? I think the thing is that people make it seem, I think, you know what? Now that I'm like talking out loud, I think what it is that everyone tries to make weight loss seem better than it is, right? Like, it's okay. You want to go lose weight and go to the gym and eat healthy foods that taste good for you. It's like the gym, right? To encourage someone to go to the gym, they'll say, okay, buy yourself like some new, like nice clothes that you like, right? Or, so that makes it a more pleasurable experience. Eating correct foods, eating foods that are healthy and good for you, the foods that will help you lose weight. They'll say, oh, well, what you need to do is make this nice little grain bowl with, kale and da-da-da and this nice tahini sauces and all these things. And oh, okay, well, maybe you can't eat that much, but, eat these large salads or eat these things that are like filler foods, and then you won't suffer. So, it'll be like everyone keeps trying to make losing weight be more enjoyable and more palatable so that you'll want to do it. And for me, what I've experienced is that no, it's just not. It's just going to suck. Like, the reality, it's going to be shitty. Like, I don't even want to say suck because that's not a good enough word. It will be shitty. You will hate your life. You will hate everything. For me, being able to do this, the taste buds, I was just so miserable because food is my happy place. Food is literally one of the reasons, like I tell people, if we could just take a pill and have all the nutrients and calories and vitamins we need to live a long, happy life in a pill, I wouldn't want to live. I'd be like, this is freaking horrible. Because food, I've always loved food. Like, food for me is just, it's like part of the reason for living, like truly. Like, I'm not just saying that. So for me to go down from eating delicious food of different varieties to eating the same freaking thing every day is terrible. So I suffered in that way. I suffered in not being able to use food for comfort anymore. If, having a bad day, life is going wrong, fine. At least I can eat something nice and something that's tasty and make me feel a little better. If life is going right, at least I can celebrate with, eating something nice and tasty. In so many different ways, food was just what made me happy. So I did not have that thing that made me happy anymore, and nor did I have anything to replace that, really. So that was gone. And so that was suffering. Second way of suffering for me was the hunger, which was unbelievable. It was, I don't want to say it's unimaginable, but it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And it never ended. It felt like it was never ending. It was never ending for like a good, at least 2 months. I was, people say, oh yeah, well, you cut your calories and then your stomach shrank and then within 2 weeks you were fine, right? Like your body adjusted. No, my body did not start adjusting, and I was losing weight, but my stomach did not, my body did not feel, my stomach did not feel like it was getting smaller, and my body did not feel better, like it was adjusting. until at least 2 months. So for at least 2 months, my stomach felt like I was hungry all the time, except for those couple moments where I would eat. And then it would fill up just a little bit. And it's like, give me more, give me more, give me more. And then after I stopped eating, like 5, 10 minutes later, it was like, oh, you gave me almost nothing. And it sucks. So I really felt like I was starving, truly, honestly. And I was in constant brain fog, constant. And I was also, I mean, for me, I was also working out at the time because I'd finally found something that worked. Rock climbing. Oh, amazing. I do not. Regular gyms are not for me. Ugh, no, rock climbing so much fun. Anyways, I was rock climbing and I was working a job that was already stressful and driving like 30 minutes to and from work every day and eating like nothing. So yeah, maybe my suffering was like a little more extreme because I was doing all the things at once. Because I was like suffering in like so many different ways and on a calorie deficit for the first time. So yeah, but for me, anyways, it worked. Thank God I'm really grateful to God that it did work because it was bad. It was bad. And because I've been through this, like, so I've been on this like weight loss journey for like, what is it? Almost like a year and a half now. So crazy to say. So, well, it's great to say it. But I was on this weight loss journey and I've been through so many things. So now I can look back and I can say with confidence that even if wasn't going to the gym at the time, and even if my job wasn't stressful, it would still have been suffering. It might not have been as much, but I was definitely still suffering because my body was not adjusting well. I was hungry all the time. I had brain fog like nobody's business. Like nobody's business. It's like I was in a constant brain fog that never lifted. Like literally never for 2 months. I was walking in a daze. Like, whew, and it felt terrible. Everything that required using my brain felt like it was so much work and it sucked so hard all the time. All the time. When I think about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't even know how I did it. But I do know how I did it because the suffering of not losing weight became more than the suffering I'd have to endure losing weight. And that is what it took. It took me suffering and being okay with that suffering. So maybe that's like the crux of what I'm trying to say is that I did have to suffer. I suffered tremendously. And it wasn't after till about 2 months that the suffering started to subside. No, it wasn't like I'm suffering, now I'm not suffering. No. It was started at the peak of suffering. It wasn't a gradual incline. It was I am suffering a lot. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. And then the suffering just continued and continued. And then eventually, slowly started tapering off. And small aspects started, like the brain fog. It's slowly, like towards the end of those 2 months, it's slowly, I noticed a little lift. It lifted a little bit. And then over the next month 3, it lifted more and more and more. And then by month 4, I think I didn't have brain fog anymore, at least not so much. So again, the suffering, like it was gradual. It was a gradual lessening of the suffering. It wasn't like an overnight thing. My stomach was so big apparently before because it felt like it was always empty, even when I ate. And that started to slowly shrink. I don't think it was really everything for me personally. And I think for everyone, it's going to be a personal thing because we're all like made differently. We're all like so many different things going on with us. But I think it was like by the second month I started. By the end of the second month. So when the brain fog lifted, I think my stomach started feeling like a little smaller too. Really, it was around month 6 that everything, I think it was about 6 months that my stomach was actually smaller. And not just, it felt smaller, but it was. Like, I would eat something. Like, if I tried to, like, have a cheat day and gorge on something. By gorge, I mean eat more than my paltry meal. Like, I'm going to eat double the size of my paltry meal, which ends up being a normal size 1 serving. I was like, I felt so full, like I was nauseous. I was like, oh my gosh, this feels bad. And the brain fog was like gone. I think it was 6 months that it was like all gone. No brain fog. My stomach was actually small. And yeah. So, question is, how did I get there? How did I square myself with the suffering and say, this is going to be suffering and I just have to endure it? Well, when the suffering started, because believe you me, I'm not one of those people. Like I could tell you, oh, I'm a surgeon, or I'm like, I run this company and I do all these amazing things. So like, I just learned to endure. Like, if suffering is what it takes, I'll do it. No, I'm not that person. And I think majority of people out there are not that person. Because yes, there's going to be the person who's like, I didn't have to suffer. The suffering of being overweight did not become greater than the suffering to lose weight. So I was like, I just did it. I just did it. Yes, there are people who are that way. There's lots of people. I think the majority of people, though, are not that way. I think the majority of people are like, no, I don't have like the discipline or the motivation or the whatever it is or the care about whatever to just decide to do something and do it and be successful and endure the suffering and be fine with it. I think a lot of people, for me, it was, I have to find a way. I have to, it was, anyways, I digress. You've heard me speak. So, how did I get there? I hate suffering. I hate suffering more, just as much as the average person, if not potentially more. I truly hate it. I hate it so much that I just quit things that are bad. Like things that are painful, I quit all the time. Jobs, all the things, because I really hate to suffer. So, how did I actually endure the suffering? That's the question. Well, it's all in the mind. I made the decision that I would suffer and that I was going to accept the suffering. I wasn't going to try to make the suffering better or just, talk myself out of it or convince myself I wasn't suffering or meditate. No, I was like, this is suffering and this sucks. Okay, that's what it is. It's just going to suck. That's just it. It will suck. So, for example, when I would, so here's some of the things that I actually did. When I was eating food, I'm right now in my head, I'm envisioning myself being at work. So when I was at work and I was eating my lunch, right? Okay, yum, 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 lunch is done. Literally 10 minutes later, I was like starving again. It was crazy just how it almost did like nothing for me. And I would hear my stomach growling, grumbling. I would feel it. I would feel my tummy grumbling and pain and constricting. And I told myself, I was like, that means I'm losing weight. Like literally, I had to lose my Jedi mind tricks. No joke. I was like, that grumbling I'm feeling, that pain in my stomach, that means I'm losing weight. So I kind of had to like replace it with something good in a way. Like, yes, it's suffering and yes, it sucks, but but it means something good is happening. It means I'm getting what I want. It almost sounds like some messed up crap logic, but it was like, I was like, I'm in pain. That means I'm losing weight. Okay, my stomach hurts. I'm having. Okay, it wasn't like extreme pain that you should go to the hospital for. It was just like when you're really hungry and your tummy is like giving you hunger pains. That's what it was. So I'm like, that means I'm losing weight. And then I just would go back on my next task. And every time it would come and it would disturb me and it would bother me, and my mind would go to, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I would say, yeah, but it means I'm losing weight. And I'm like, oh, okay, that is true. Because if I wasn't hungry as hell, maybe I wouldn't be losing weight. That nonsense worked. Then also what helped me stay with the suffering is going on the scale. So I hated scales forever. Like for my whole life. Like who the hell likes the scale? Nobody. I especially hated scales. I actually believe that they were counterproductive and bad for you because they made you just feel even more, they made you feel fat. Like sometimes you don't realize you're fat until like you look at your body and then you're like, oh, I forgot. That happens to me. Anyways, or someone points it out or something happens. So I figure when I go on the scale and I see this high number, I'm going to feel like trash. And I don't like feeling like trash. So I'm not going to look at it. You know, I'm like, I'll know I'm losing weight when I see it. The evidence will be me looking skinnier. That's all I need. Turned out that never actually worked for me. But what did work was going on the scale every day. So when I was in the process of actually starving, like hungry all the time and calorie deficit, I'd go on the scale. I think it was the first few days, maybe the first week, I didn't really see much change. Maybe by day 5 or 7, I like saw that I'd lost 1 pound. Sounds so silly. 1 pound. How could you be excited about 1 pound? My body did not want to let go of the weight. It was just like, no. But finally it did, and I lost 1 pound. And I was like, oh, I lost a pound. Oh my gosh, it's working. You know, why should this be evidence of working? It was. 1 pound was enough for me to be like, okay, this is working. Okay, let's keep going. So I think it's like every day. In the beginning, was it every day or every 2 days? At maximum, I didn't go more than 2 days without weighing myself. And I would count those ounces. I lost half an. I lost. You know, I went down from 218 to 217.5 pounds. Yay! Like I 5 ounces down. Like I counted that because it mattered. Because what it told me was that everything I was doing was working. Because if I was like 3 weeks into this and I hadn't lost a single pound, but I felt like I was starving every day, then there's something wrong. Then obviously this isn't working and I need to do something different. Like I'm not about doing stuff that's not working. That's just dumb. Like for me, you know, and I'm not going to take like a year to lose 5 pounds while starving myself the whole time. No, that's ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, I say things like starving. I wasn't actually starving, you know. I was eating the right amount of food at the right amount of times. But since my stomach was big, 1,200 calories felt like nothing. Now, so I went down from 218. Now as of today, I am 163.8. I think I went up 0.5 ounces since yesterday. I know it sounds stupid and small, but anyways. Yeah, I went from 218 to 163 essentially. That's where I'm at now, at 5'9". And yeah, now I'm eating 1,200 calories. Does not feel like starving. It doesn't feel like starving. It feels fine. Honestly, it feels fine. It feels normal for me now. And I'm eating healthy food. So when I say the words like starving, I don't mean actual like anorexia. No, I do not recommend that for anybody. That sounds like a horrible idea. Like, please, like, don't do that. Like, if you need to lose weight and you think anorexia is the only way, you need to like, there's something else. But anyhow, my point of this whole thing is that I had to tell myself when I would feel myself in tummy pains, in hunger pains, I told myself that means I'm losing weight. And then I had to see the evidence of it. I had to see the evidence to continue. So I'd get on the scale every day. And when I finally saw 1 pound loss, I counted that as a huge win. I was like, it's working. Aha. And then I kept going. And okay, another pound loss, another half a pound, another pound. And it was slow at first. It was slow. I think it was like maybe by the second week, I was maybe down to a pound. I think for maybe the first 3 weeks might have been like I was losing a pound a week, potentially. And then after that, I started losing closer to 2 pounds. I think the first month I was like only like 1 pound a week. And I was like, this is fine. Actually, you know what? Let me not lie. It may have been 2 months. The first 2 months, I was losing 1 pound a week. But if anyone who overweight will ever tell you, losing 8 pounds is amazing. It feels like a miracle. Like how? Sorry. It's like, wow, I lost 8 pounds. It feels like such a success story. Even if you have 100 pounds to go, it feels like a success story. And that's what it did for me. So even though it was only 1 pound a week, by the end of that month, I was down 4 pounds, which was amazing because I did not believe I could lose weight. I literally didn't. I thought it was going to be impossible. Like truly. That's where I started at. Was I wanted to do this, but I thought it was going to be impossible. So hell, I was down 4 pounds. That's something. That's a huge win. And I just kept going. Next month, I'm down another 4 pounds. Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I think by month 3 or 4, let's say, I think by month 3, I started being like 2 pounds a week at least. Yeah, it was 2 pounds a week. And then eventually it started even picking up a little more than that over time. And now where I'm at now, and this is so much journey from where I was to where I am, and all the, as this is not going to be a story of I just started losing weight and I kept it off and it was great. No, it was like I started losing weight and it was great. It was horrible. It was painful. Then it was fine. And then winter came around and there was all the sweets. And then so I started having more cheat days and saying, screw it. And then the world went to shit. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to drink alcohol now too. And then I gained 10 pounds. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to stop. I'm getting weight. And then I had to go back to, this is a story of struggle. But I guess my point is that I saw the evidence of losing weight. So I had to track myself every day. I track my poundage every day. Track. And I had to convince, and I had to tell myself, whatever brain fog, whatever pain I'm feeling, whatever annoyance I'm suffering, whatever crap I'm dealing with right now, it means I'm losing weight. And it did. And I did. And it was that continual weight loss, continually being on my stuff and seeing the pounds fall off the scale that made me continue. So, thank you for listening.